I probably learned more on that first day of running my business than I did in my whole 2 years at uni. We went to that event with, I think, maybe 5 different types of granola. We had a menu split across both sides of the setup. So we'd have choose your base on one side, then we'd have choose your inclusions on the other side. So the customer journey was just completely off. Very basic things like that. When I look back at it now, I think they're basic. The weirdest thing I felt was actually asking someone for money for the product. Like it was a weird concept. It's something I'd never done before. Like I'd made an ice cream, then I was asking for like some money for it. That felt really weird. It was a crazy experience. I literally probably didn't sleep from that point onwards for the next few weeks, just because we got so busy. But yeah, it was exhilarating and the adrenaline was pumping. The way we do events now is very different, because what we learned, is that although those events were fun, when you add things like your pitch feed together, you've got to pay for power, your staffing, your travel costs, your ingredients costs, all these different costs, it becomes very hard for it to be profitable. We're very selective of who we work with. We do a lot more corporate stuff, private catering, which is all prepaid. It's just a much cleaner model. In addition to that, now our brand's grown a lot. We wanted to try come away from being like a market stall trader. We wanted to be more than that. We wanted to be a trendy, cool, sleek brand. So we knew we had to start saying no to these events and actually focusing on the long term of the business. We always knew we wanted to be something more than just a business that goes to events and serves ice cream. We wanted to actually have a physical presence, somewhere that we can make our own. The first opportunity that came to us was actually one in Bristol, in Cabot Circus. They actually reached out to us. They'd seen us at an event, then went to see the spot, and it was on one of the streets. And they were like, look, you guys can test this out for a summer, see how it goes, and if you like it, you can carry on. So the next stage were to find an actual unit that we could use in this space. From going to festivals previously, we had seen all these lovely, converted catering trucks, and we basically discovered this company that, could take an old truck and transform it into, your vision. So that's what we did. We got this old lovely Citroen HY van, and we created a really cool pink and blue, we now call it the Bubba truck, which has got our pans in, it had everything inside it, and it was amazing. So yeah, that's what we used. It was so exciting. Like when it arrived, I can still remember the day now. It was arriving on the back of a big lorry, this huge little pink and blue truck, and it was like a massive proud moment. It was a very interesting time at Bristol. With events, you've got a whole new demographic flooding in. You know exactly how much footfall you're going to have, and with retail, there's a lot of unknowns. It wasn't successful at all in terms of monetary, how much money we took. We had no staff at that point, so it was literally just me working in there from open to close every day. And some days I was literally just stood there all day, I'd literally make a couple ice creams, and I did that for months on end. I found it interesting, how we could do so well at events, and then how that could completely change when we went into retail. But yeah, we learned a huge amount from it that we had then taken forward into our, following options. Someone from Westfields came along and actually picked up one of my business cards that I had on the side. He saw us there. He loved, we had a huge crowd again, so he loved what he saw. And I knew about this because then a couple of weeks later, I got an email to say, hi, it's, so-and-so from Westfields. Our founder, I've seen you guys at the Taste of London event, and we'd love to have a chat about you guys potentially opening up in Westfields. We went for a meeting with them, and they basically were like, look, they knew about our truck that we had in Bristol, and they were like, look, we know you've got this truck. Do you want to try give it a go in Westfield Stratford? We said 100% we do. Similar sort of setup outside, truck quite perfectly, so it could go straight in there. Originally, it was just me working. I was just planning on doing it myself. It was mental. I remember walking out to the truck the morning of our first day really early, and there was already people queuing outside of this truck, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on? It was mental. From really early in the morning to late at night, we just had non-stop the biggest queue I've ever seen, of people desperate to try. People were queuing for over 2 hours. It was crazy, it was nuts. And they were just so desperate to try these ice cream rolls, because they've seen it online, they've seen us in people's Instagrams at events, etc. But they wanted to try it. And yeah, it was crazy, and I suppose that was just welcome to London. We were bombarded from that point onwards, the press, you know, every company wanted to come down, talk about us, show the queues, what was this craze about. Very quickly, we got approached by Selfridges, so Selfridges saw us there, like, guys, this is brilliant, you know, can you do a little pop-up? Boom, we did that. It went amazingly again, like non-stop queues throughout the whole day. People loved it, so we had, you know, now we had 2 locations that were just really, you know, these are pop-up locations, but they were doing so well. So straight away, Selfridges saw the success of that and we're like, guys, love this. Can you launch nationwide? And you know, it's very weird because they originally asked us to go as a 2-week pop-up, and now they're asking us, can you do this? Can you replicate this in Birmingham, Manchester? He said, of course we can. So, you know, before we knew it, we were all around London, Birmingham and Manchester, and you know, crazy busy. It was beyond belief. I don't really know how we did it, but we just made things work. Then we knew the next step now was to, like, we need to actually get a permanent place, somewhere where we can really sort of like invest in. At the time, Westfields obviously knew us very well, and they were building a new area of their White City, Westfields London. And they came to us and, you know, said, guys, look, we've got this new build happening, a whole new extension of Westfields, and we'd love you to be a part of that. With these permanent leases, you've got to sign up for, you know, 5 years. You've got to take on a spot, and you've got to be very confident that you're going to make that work, because if it doesn't work, then your whole business can go to pot. We then had to go and get involved with all the designing of the kiosks, you know, something we had never done before. We built this amazing looking kiosk, which is still there today, doing amazingly well. We knew that within the first few days we'd know how well this thing's going to do. It went amazingly. Again, queues all day. It was just non-stop. Like, people loved it.